Hi everybody, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. So this is going to be a Gypsy Rose related video. So if that's a topic you're bored with and you're not interested, go on. You don't have to stay here. I've got a video on Casey Anthony coming up. I got some fun makeup looks coming up, some food videos. I got all kinds of stuff coming up. So you can catch another video if you don't want to talk about Gypsy. So some former prison mates of Gypsies have been speaking up, and I kind of wanted to find all the videos and compile it all and talk about it all, but I feel like Conspiracy did a good job at that, so I don't want to do that so much. But I do want to talk about the Tuesday, is it Tuesday Sparks? I do want to talk about her videos a little bit. So I'm going to show you the clips I want to discuss, and then I'm just going to talk on it for a minute, okay?
Work with me while we talk about Gypsy Rose. So I was incarcerated from 2018 to 2022 at Chillicothe Correctional Center with Gypsy Rose.
So first of all, I'm like, how do we... Hi, baby. Look. That's Harry. I don't know how we're supposed to trust any of them if they've all been in prison, so they're all criminals. And I'm not saying people don't deserve a second chance, but it's not my job to give them a second chance. So it's to keep me safe. I don't trust people who have been to prison. It's just a thing of mine. It's just a policy I have for myself. And it's regardless of what Gypsy side they fall on. So obviously this person is pro Gypsy. I trust her about as much as I trust the ones that are anti-Gypsy. So I don't trust any of them, really, if I'm being completely honest with you. And yeah, so let's go on.
She was actually my roommate for a very short period of time, but I lived on the wing with her several times, off and on throughout the years. And every time I see something people post about her, I always feel like I'm gonna make this video. But I never do, because I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay out of it. People have their strong feelings and opinions about her that don't even know her, which is really weird to me.
She's really pretty, this girl. She's really pretty. I like her nose. But I don't think that these people that speak highly of Gypsy are really aware or have done their research or even have interest in doing the research. I think they've just taken what Gypsy has said and gone with it, and that's all they need for truth. You know, some people are just very trusting, and but they speak highly of Gypsy, so I don't think they're as well informed as the rest of us, because I'm sure Gypsy wasn't going around just smacking people. Of course she's going to be nice. But they probably haven't done the research. They're probably not interested in the research. And I mean, if they want to continue looking at Gypsy in the light they see her in, I don't see a problem with that, because that's on them. One way or another, that's on them. Like our feelings toward Gypsy are on us. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Gypsy was probably very nice in prison, because there are probably a lot of women there that could have beat her ass. You know what I mean? You know, she wasn't beating anyone's ass at like under 5 feet tall, as little as she was when she first went in, you know.
I was just listening to a podcast about her, and I'm gonna say my opinion. I honestly have no idea why people feel so strongly about other people when they don't know them. But, you know, that's just life. People do. Everybody has their opinions. But, my opinion in my time knowing her, Gypsy is such a sweet girl.
The reason we have an opinion without personally knowing her is because she lied repeatedly. There's proof of those lies available all over the internet. And a mentally disabled young man is serving life in prison without the chance of parole because of her trickery and her manipulation. And I don't know why people don't take issue with that. I have a problem with that. Yes, Nicholas did what he did, and he is, in my opinion, where he needs to be if he did in fact do it. I do not, and I say this all the time, I do not believe he is going to get a new trial. I hope he does, but I don't think he will. If he does get a new trial and they still find him guilty, he's going to get the same sentence, because that is the sentence in Missouri for that crime. But maybe, I don't know if they would change the charge or what, but that's why people don't, that's the reason I don't like her, is because she manipulated this young man into doing it. And the one guy, God, why do I always forget his name? Ron, or whatever his name was, he confirmed that she was in the BDSM stuff and the role playing before Nicholas came along. So he didn't introduce her to that world. Gypsy introduced him to that world. And she used that world to manipulate him into doing what he did to Dee Dee. And no one's going to convince me otherwise. She knew what she was doing. She was like, I'm going to use this and this and this, and I'm going to get him to do my bidding.
I know that she did what she did, and it was wrong. You know, I did what I did, and it was wrong. The difference between me and Gypsy was I was an adult, and I knew better. And I lived a normal life, and I knew that I didn't have to do what I did, and I did it anyway. Gypsy, her whole life, was in a very irrational environment. Nothing in her life was normal, ever, from a very young age. So I think that she definitely acted irrationally, but it's what she's seen her whole life. Gypsy said that she felt more freedom in prison than she had ever felt. I also feel like if this was an abused woman and she killed her husband because she felt like that was her only way out, we would make excuses. She's being berated, and it's just crazy how people literally hate her, have such strong feelings towards her because of what she did when she was a teenager.
It wasn't her only way out, though, and she knew that. It wasn't her only way out. Nicholas, as I understand, brought it up more than once, that they could just run. They can run away. They could take off. They could leave. And she's like, no, I want to run alive, you know? And she's being berated because of her behavior. And she wasn't a teenager, not at all. She was not a teenager when this happened. And y'all remember this part, because we're going to revisit this later in the video. So it's going to come up again.
But I will say, she's very sweet and kind, and she would give anybody anything. She was very childlike in prison, but she also stood firm on what she believed, and you know, she didn't let people push her around or bully her. Not saying that she was a bully by any means, but when she was being treated unfairly, she definitely spoke up on it.
I'm sure she was very sweet in prison. She has to fool people. She has to fool people, you know. And if there's people she's getting close to in prison, of course she's going to be sweet to them. You got to have people, you know. There are a lot of people that think she's sweet, you know, and she does put on a good, sweet act. We all saw that interrogation, which very soon we are going to be going over again on my channel. But yeah.
So Gypsy didn't ask for any of this. She did not ask for her case to be made famous, you know. She didn't ask for people to be following her around. She didn't ask for there to be a camera crew outside of the prison when she was let out. She didn't ask for any of that. She didn't ask to be judged every day. You know, she didn't She didn't.
I'm sorry. I must have lost my mind. Who signed the book deal? Who signed the deal for the show? Who did that? Who's doing all these interviews? Because it looks like Gypsy Rose to me, you know? And she sure did ask for it. She sure did. She freaking begged for it. She begged for it. She wanted this more than anything, and she loves it. She loves every second of it, even the negativity. She loves it. She did want this. She absolutely wanted this. It's just a bonus to what happened, but she loves it. She loves this attention. She loves that she has a show. She loves that she's got book deals. Give me a break. She didn't ask for it. Please. She freaking begged for it. She begged for it. So anyway, I'm sorry. That just irritates me when people say, she didn't ask for this. She didn't want this. Because it's all she's ever wanted. So now we're going to go over this video. Same girl.
Okay, so I wanted to post a little part 2, just like a continuation of what I said, because since then I have found out that there are people saying that they were in prison with her that I don't remember being there, but that were in prison with her, and she was like bragging about what she did, and that could be the furthest from the truth.
It could be or couldn't be, because it sounds like she says could be the furthest from the truth. Is that some kind of Freudian slip?
Gypsy very rarely talked about her case, ever. And when she did, Gypsy has so much remorse and guilt for what she did and her part in it. So I can't imagine that's not even her heart. That's not even her character. I can't even fathom anybody knowing her and not liking her. Not even not liking her, but having bad things to say about her.
Bro, Gypsy gave me her last naked noodle out of her locker, bro.
What the hell is a naked noodle? Am I missing something? What is that? I don't know prison speak, so. And these people need to do a deep dive. They really do. Because they were shown what Gypsy wanted them to see. They were shown the Gypsy that she wanted them to see. This is who I want them to know me as, you know. It almost feels like gaslighting in a way, but it's not gaslighting because they have to know what they're saying isn't really true. But it feels like gaslighting. It feels like maybe they were hardcore gaslit by Gypsy Rose and they bought it hook, line, and sinker, you know.
It just blows my mind, for real. I just knew she was going to get out and everybody was going to love her. And it's so crazy that people have anything bad to say about her, period, because she's such a sweetheart.
And people keep correcting, talking about, because we do keep on saying she was a kid whenever this shit happened. Like, she was a child. Okay, obviously not literally she was a child. If she was literally a child, she would not be in a grown adult prison. You know, she would not be in...
She was very childlike, though, in prison. And so it's kind of hard to...
She didn't know she was an adult.
But that's not what was said in the last video. That's not what was said in this last video. I told you this would come up again. I told you. Here.
Because of what she did when she was a teenager.
So this part actually is gaslighting, because she can easily go back and watch her video and see that she said she was a teenager when that happened. She knows what she said, and we all heard it. That wasn't speaking figuratively. She said she was a teenager. Give me a break. That actually was gaslighting. It was.
She was great. She was sweet. She stayed out the way. She wasn't in drama. I don't know how anybody could say anything bad.
I know, bro.
I wonder if Gypsy is paying them. I really wonder if they're paid actors to do this. I wonder. So that's it. There was another lady talking about her, about Gypsy and how wonderful she was, but I think you get the gist, and I don't want to. Her video was just kind of long, and it was just more of the same, which if the stories are consistent, sometimes you're like, well, maybe this was who she was in prison, but this is not the Gypsy we all see. Because Gypsy didn't come out of prison with all of us not liking her. A lot of us were on her side. I stopped being on her side like after she went to prison, and I really watched the interrogation. But a lot of people were still on her side for a little while after she got out of prison, and then they were like, wait, is she making bank off of her crime? Is she literally making bank off of her crime? I think a lot of people turned against her after that. So yeah, and I don't think there's any shame in ever saying you ever supported her. I think it's fine to look at somebody and want to support them and think the best of them, but then when the hood is lifted and you see who they are, I think it's fine to change your mind too. But anyway, and here's a response from Skippity Doodah 101. I want to show y'all this too.
Saying that they were in prison with her, that I don't remember being there.
I mean, birds of a feather flock together, don't they? Also, you don't remember me because I got out December 16, 2017. Do you remember Sheena, the lifer that got out? You don't remember her? Oh. Do you remember Taz? Or Rob? Or Tasha? Because they're going to be guest starring on my podcast. And who are you? Oh. And who's the girl in the back? Oh, that's right. Nobody.
But she, here's my thing, okay? They're all criminals. And I know this may not be popular, but I don't feel like I can trust criminals. I don't feel like I can trust them. I don't know what their crime was. I don't know if they were inside for hurting somebody that abused them or something. I don't know why they were there. So at this point, not knowing what they did, I can't trust them. I don't trust them. And it's not my job to give any of them a chance. So, yeah. So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to share that video and my thoughts. And I do not, like a lot of people are thinking poorly of the women who are coming forward saying they knew Gypsy in prison. I don't really have a problem with that. But if any of them are being dishonest, you can tell, you can read the tells. But I did look into the number of women in prisons across the United States for PEDO related crimes, and the number is quite low. And the number that's incarcerated in an actual prison is even lower. So it makes me wonder how many of them could there have been in prison for her to be hanging out with? Because remember, there was that one lady who said she hung out with the PEDOs. So, I mean, how many were there? How many could there have been? Because they aren't a lot out there. At least not a lot that have been caught, arrested, tried, and found guilty, and then convicted to prison. So there are some in jails. So there's 29 prisons across the United States for women. And then there's jails that house women criminals also for crimes that don't rise to the level that would put them in prison. So I'm just wondering how many could there have been in there. I'm not saying they're lying or anything, but how many could there have been? Because there are several prisons, I didn't see a list of which prisons there were, that aren't currently housing any women that are PEDOs. So I'm just wondering. Yeah, and I just did a quick research. I didn't actually do an in-depth research. Maybe I should. Maybe I should do an in-depth one, because now that's going to open a whole new can of worms. And Harry, what are you doing? Harry's so cute. I got to give him away. I got to give him to Debbie soon. We're going to bring him over there tomorrow to visit so I can get Django and Alan used to not being with Harry and Harry not used to being with them. It's so sad that he's going to go from a house with his mom and his two brothers and his uncle Brian and go to a house with no other animals in it. I just feel bad. But I'm going to tell her, I'm going to monitor his behavior. And I am going to bring the other cats over to visit and stuff. So it's just Harry is so sweet. He slept on my chest last night. So, but this isn't a cat video, so I'm going to go. I will give y'all another cat video very soon, but I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.